Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Scott Binsack, CEO and founder of March for America. Can we say boom? Boom! Donald Trump just dumped the largest non-nuclear device on Afghanistan. And it was basically not so much to hit ISIS, but to let the world know, Russia, North Korea, Syria, that he will not afraid to use this type of device as Kim gets ready to do another nuclear test this weekend for the anniversary of his grandfather. This device, the Moab, is a major device. It's a blast of about a mile round, and they do not know if there's civilian casualties yet, but I'm expecting that I'm sure there will be, but maybe not too many. They carried it out pretty well. It was dropped on a basic bunker tunnel cavernous area where ISIS is known to be hiding out in Afghanistan. And after the death of Green Beret. Mainly, it is a message, though. It's a message to the world to say, okay, the United States is back and we are not afraid to use this type of weapon and to wipe you out. So I congratulate it. It is a definite message. Much better than the cruise missiles to Syria, which is getting a lot of flack now. I wanted to show you guys what is the Moab and give you a good play of what this is. It's a pretty deadly device here.
March 11th, 2003 marked a milestone in military history. At Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, the United States tested a new superweapon. Moab, short for Massive Ordnance Airburst, quickly became known as the mother of all bombs. This massive weapon creates a blast radius stretching a mile in each direction.
The Moab is made out of an aluminum skin, a very thin aluminum skin. And the reason we did it that way was in order to maximize the blast effect. We did not want the airframe of the bomb to interfere with the development of a blast wave that has the impact to the target.
The world's largest non-nuclear weapon, Moab is over 30 feet long and weighs more than 21,000 pounds. It's no easy task to accurately maneuver such a behemoth through the skies toward its target. Engineers overcame the challenge with a grid fin design that provides great aerodynamic lift.
During carriage, these 4 grid fins are folded forward onto the bomb in order that it makes a very compact design for carriage. When the weapon is deployed out the back end of the C-130, the fins are subsequently deployed with aerodynamic assisting in the deployment because the wind is coming from the forward of the bomb. Once it's in its flight configuration, as it is shown here, it is then able to control the bomb and fly it to its designated target.
Although Moab was fast-tracked for Operation Iraqi Freedom, a lack of enemy resistance kept it grounded. But its successful test run served chilling notice of a powerful new force.
The largest guided bomb in the history of the world, with the tremendous impact and detonation of this explosive, really just shook the area, and the shockwave could be heard for miles and miles.
Well, there we go. That is our bomb. So, as you can see, yeah, I know people are coming up. I'll be going into what's going on with Syria right as well, but this is a huge development because to drop this is a message to say, the United States is back. This is not Obama's reign. This is to clearly send a message to China, North Korea, and especially Russia with what's going on in Syria. The problem with what you see going on is in Syria, and I'm going to get into that. And then I'm going to get into what's going on with the Russiagate scandal, because many things have been breaking and people aren't piecing things together. They're fighting the different articles that have been dropped on Manafort and Page and saying, well, what's the big deal and what's going on with that? And it's a huge deal that I've been discussing since Donald Trump got elected. And people are not piecing those together. But so far, there's not any reports of any civilian casualties with this bomb. But this sends out a huge message to the world that, you know, a bomb is not here anymore. There's a new sheriff in town, and we will use these type of weapons. This weapon originally was designed for Iraq at that time when we went into the Iraqi war, and that's when they were going to use it. So, yeah. It's been a crazy 48 hours, as everybody said. There's a lot going on as well with other things. And there's so much happening so fast that I was going to do a different show, and then this bomb got dropped. And there was some word, you know, that there was going to be some Afghanistan, you know, bombing going on, but no one even knew in the circles of, you know, this Moab. This is a badass bomb. And it's non-nuclear, so, you know, it doesn't break any treaties or, you know, anything like that. But it's a way to tell Kim, you know, okay, listen, we can drop this on you too and not break any nuclear, you know, doing it. Russia has similar type weapons as well. So, yeah, boom. Okay, people keep asking me I'll answer this real quickly. What's happened with Syria saying U.S. hit an ISIS bunker with chemicals that affected hundreds of civilians? Misguided missile that actually killed 18 allies. Okay. What has happened is there was a bombing in Syria having to do, and it hit a ammo dump, and it was a chemical manufacturing facility. And this is actually a huge step to prove what we've been trying to say, is that the original gas attack was not carried out by Assad in Russia. Assad put out a statement today saying he had nothing to do with it. Russia told us straight up that they did not do it, and Assad did not do it, and that Assad was framed. And many reports, many experts have analyzed the White House report, and the White House report even says that, and I put that up in a post. I'll go onto the wall there. I can drag it up when I get into that part of the story. But the White House is saying that the gas did not come from air. In its own report, it says that the Idlib gassing did not get dropped by airplanes. It was on the ground munitions. So they just admitted to the world in their own report. Originally, they said it was done by, you know, MiG fighters and Su-22 fighters coming from the Syrian airport, airbase that was bombed, and now they're saying in their own report it came from the ground, as we've said from the night that we broke this story, and others, that this was not done by Assad's Air Force. So there's numerous stories all over the place. You have the UN Peace Council putting out reports about it as well, and a prior report showing about what's going on really in Syria and how they're using it. I've been working on, with MFA Underground, a huge story that when you watch my other show about the Syrian gassing, where I called it, it's a false flag. That gassing has triggered massive, you know, and Russia vetoed in the UN, you know, not condemning this bombing, because it did not happen from Assad. It's a jump off. Putin also warned live yesterday that his intelligence from Russia says that they're going to carry out another fake attack, possibly in Mosul, okay? Or even Aleppo, to trigger even more false flag and to get the United States dragged into a war there. That's the idea of what's happening here. I don't think people are trying to understand here. I know Assad's a bad guy, but he protects a lot of Christians, and he didn't do this. I don't care if the guy is killed, and if you pull Assad out of there, you're going to have a vacuum like Iraq, and you're going to have massive problems, and it's going to be a haven. It's going to be a terroristic haven. But what I'm pissed off about, and many other people are, and it's surfacing to where they even talked about it on Fox today, that many are coming forward saying that this was not from Assad, but that of rebels, as we've been saying. And the rebels, so to speak, or you can call them rebels, that's McCain's, American Syrian army. John McCain, McMaster, et al. Carried this out with Turkey to create an international incident, to get these pictures all over the place. And I want to point something out about that attack. Okay? Idlib, where they bombed, does not even have children and civilians in it, near it, right there. It's a cavernous enclave with deep bunkers, as I showed in one of my videos the other night via a video. And that's how I came across a video from a gentleman who I showed you, who lives in Ohio currently. He runs a very big veterans magazine and investigation service. Him and another reporter have been for years investigating this and proving with Russia that even the 2013 gassing that Obama was a part of was all set to drag us into this war in Syria. If we did not have that gassing when we did on the eve of a peace conference, when Assad's winning the war, Russia's winning the war over there, they're killing ISIS, there's no reason for it. 24 hours after Donald Trump says, we're done, I'm done with Assad, he can stay there, okay? Boom, we have a alleged chemical. They knew the flight plans, as I showed you and proved to you. Then they said that there was chemicals on the base. That was debunked on the air base that they hit. Totally debunked. And here we go into this massive thing, and they're still calling. This is horrible. They want to charge this man with war crimes. The guy's a dictator. Wonderful. But again, we're pissing in someone else's swimming pool for a globalist war. For pipelines, for Israel wants to come in and take a bunch of the Golan Heights area land. There's a lot of reasons for this happening. Okay? Lots of reasons. And we keep pointing it out. I'm going to have the third special on it that I've dug deeper in to that this goes back to Condoleezza Rice. Okay? Meaning a company that Condoleezza Rice is tied to, having to do that's tied to the organization that is a front for Turkish rebels having to do with this, tied to John McCain. It's a huge story. Huge story. Even the UN peacekeepers are behind this story as well. But it got squashed because the reporter, Putin has the same evidence. Don't kid yourself. When the U.S. just visited there, Putin told him, okay? He told Rex, he said, listen, this is not real, and you're going to keep saying it's real, blaming Assad and blaming Russia for this. We're not going to put up with it. We're going to expose it as the truth, and we're going to stick by Assad. And that's what's got Russia so pissed off. So, I mean, this is why they're so mad. This is why Russia's pissed off. This bombing today is another message to Putin to say, okay, listen, we can use it here. We'll use it, this same type of weapon in Syria. We'll use it wherever. We'll use it in North Korea. Okay, you have to understand this is a 21,000-pound bomb. 21,000. A cruise missile's only 1,000 pounds. So I also want to clear something else up that the U.S. doesn't really want to admit, but it's true. 1,000% been 59 cruise missiles were shot, only 24 hit its mark. The other ones were actually shot down by the S-400 missile system that was there. That's why Putin came right out and said, we're going to immediately up Assad's air defenses around all airports, because now they know how many of U.S. cruise missiles, because they've never had to test it on U.S. cruise missile. Now they know how many surface-to-air batteries they need to take down any future attacks. So the U.S. showed its hand by sending these cruise missiles over there, and that's where they went. There's no 70 missiles that hit, 59 missiles that hit that airbase. You even can tell from the pictures that they sent you. There's not 69, 59 missiles that hit there. The other ones were definitely shot down, as Russia has reported. And the S-400 was there, and it took them out. It took them out. And that's Putin is upping the air defenses around it with more S-400 systems. Russia's shipping equipment to the area. Russia has an armada in the close to the entire area as well. Submarines are over there. This could turn out to be, but this bomb today could change everything, because it is a sign that Donald Trump's not afraid, to drop whatever he has to drop to wipe out not only ISIS, but the fear here is this. The fear here is that, as Putin said, they have intelligence that there's going to be another chemical attack carried out and blamed on Assad. So if that happens, the pictures go viral, more innocent people get killed, and it's not Assad doing it, and that could drag us into a major, major war in Syria. And that's what McMaster, McCain, warmongers all want. That's what they want. They want a war. The bottom line is they want a war with Russia. That's what they want. And so does the UN. Don't kid yourself. So, yes, I know. Now they're saying North Korea has chemical weapons as well. Kim Jong-un. Okay. So as for the gassing, you're seeing a lot of international reports come out. And even from home, as I have showed you, from former U.S., whether it be CIA or Department of Defense officials, saying that they believe it's a false flag and that Assad did not gas his people. The crater in the road, the picture I showed you the other day, and you see it all over the news, the crater road, the guy scooping up to test, as Putin said, they planted sarin there. I fully believe, and just recently they confiscated and caught, coming across from Saudi Arabia into Syria, chlorine bombs. What is believed to happen in Aleppo, in Idlib, is that they used chlorine. They brought the kids and the civilians in there, this horrible bastards, and used this on them and created this entire madness with the white hats, who happened to be exactly there at the same time. Okay, and ready to go. This was planned. As you saw, the doctors had the fake doctor, Dr. Jihad, ordered gas masks a few days before. I mean, this is not rocket science. And what Russia's pissed off about is that the United States keeps saying it and pushing it and pushing it. And that tells me, because there's many, many reports out on this, and now the United States' own report, which is available online, you can find it, it says that the attacks most likely came from the ground, not the air. As I've been arguing since day one. I've been arguing with the people, with everybody, telling you, this is not from MiG fighters or Russian jets. You would have had a crater in the ground like you wouldn't believe. They can't even, the munitions for those jets cannot even carry chemical weapons. Now, hang on one second. We have North Korea going on. We have our armada going over there as well. We have China putting 150,000 troops on the border with North Korea and China. Kim is threatening to do another nuclear test. That was before this bomb was just dropped, before the Moab was dropped. This mother of all bombs was dropped. I don't know if, I do not know if Kim is going to continue up what he's doing after he just saw that Trump dropped the Moab. If he does, there's information coming forward that China is going to help step in. I believe this can be averted with North Korea, but I believe the big problem is not Assad and Russia at all. The problem is with North Korea, and we should just take care of North Korea once and for all. End of story. with as minimal casualties, civilian casualties as possible. But see, China does not want to do that. But there's a big deal going on with Trump and Ping Pong, as I call him, Xi Jinping, Ping Pong, and that Trump was not going to, as you noticed, Trump was going to call China and hold that policy that China is a currency manipulator, trade deal at all kinds of things. Trump said, listen, you don't cooperate with us, this is what we're going to do. China does not want to have this major drawn-out thing. You can't trust China at all, though. That's the problem. Okay, and there is information coming out that they pulled this. China, with North Korea, pulled this big stunt to get Trump to fold. In other words, saber rattle. Kim backs off then. China puts its troops there, and China helps out the United States, makes it look like it's helping out the United States, when in fact what China's doing is manipulating the United States into what it wants to get, having to do with international currency, trade. There's many, many things going on there. It's a whole show that we'll do. And don't argue with any of these trolls, please. Don't argue with them. People have watched me for a long time. You know the information comes out. It's verified. Don't even, but please. After some things that have gone on with another situation at the end of this video, I'll address that. Please don't pay attention to any of these people. We are much better than that. We are much stronger than that. And we'll get into other issues having to do with that when I close out this show. Okay? So I don't care if they're on here. Let them on there. Our moderators will take care of them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they say. I will be addressing later the newspaper articles once and for all that they keep putting up from eons ago and just showing it straight to the world so it doesn't deal. Not on this show. Okay? We're in a serious turning point right now here. Now, I want to go into, give me a second. I'm going to go into what's going on at home here because it is huge. Not just internationally. And a lot of people have been messaging me. Thank you so much. And no disrespect, guys. I mean, you can call me whatever you want. I'm not feeding into your BS. You're below me, man. I don't pay attention to sheep. Sheep can take a walk. So at home, we have to pay attention to something, and as I've been discussing for a long time, at having to do with the Trump situation, with what's going on. And I'm going to go down our wall. Give me a second. Let me get in there. I just want to zoom in for you guys so you can see. Because I'm going to bring up a bunch of different articles for you. And I'm going to explain to people, because everybody keeps not understanding when I keep going. They keep attacking, going, wait a minute, Manafort didn't do this, Page didn't do that, and they're missing the biggest part of all of this. It doesn't matter if Page didn't do anything. It doesn't matter if Manafort didn't do anything, except he did. It doesn't matter if Flynn didn't do anything, but he did. Okay? What matters is that they're building a prima facie case with the Senate Investigation Committee, with the FBI, Comey, who is the Clinton lover, deep state. He's a scumbag. He's a total scumbag, Comey. Okay? And U.S. ready to help Syria bring to an end, Haley says today. Now they want diplomacy. One day she's screaming, Assad's got to go. Ah, there's our boy right there. Pay attention. Gotta love these guys. It's okay. And we're not going to get into Jeremy because I'm going to, at the end, I'll get into it. Everything having to do with Jeremy, I can't even tell you how many people, even females, people who've done business. I'm going to expose this whole situation in a separate video. I have no time for trolls, but I can tell you this. It surrounds Chicago, Illinois, it surrounds many different things and deals that he's done, lies, his sister, etc. I can get into it, but I'm not even disrupting or wasting anybody's time with this dude. He's not even worth anybody's time. He's a wannabe figure on Facebook. There he is. Let him do what he wants to do. Pack your shit. Have a nice day. Anybody goes on there, it's all junk. Goodbye. Okay. Let's get into real news and dealing with that. There he is again. Goodbye. Yeah, we would know all that. We won't even get into that. Okay? We have a big Bill O'Reilly scandal going on. Okay? And it's pretty heavy. Murdoch's trying to get rid of Bill O'Reilly, as you all know. Or if you don't know, you should know. It's pretty serious. And Fox might oust Bill O'Reilly. And give me 1 second because I want to bring you into this. There he is. Oh, there's his sister. Or the other chick that's on his page. They put a whole collage of pictures together. Some old newspaper articles. A picture of me here. A picture of me here. With handcuffs on. Yippee, yay. And then they point to MFA and say, that's it. It's a fraud. Well, they're in for a rude awakening. So we won't have to worry about that. Trust me. Okay? Trust what I tell you. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Okay. Simple minds do simple things. It's all good. Shit, we just bombed Afghanistan, lit up ISIS with the largest non-nuclear. Hang on 1 second. I'm getting out of here. Okay. And there's Spicer. He came on real quick today and said, yep, we dropped this massive bomb. Have a nice day. Bye. That's good job. Talk to the Department of Defense. Bye. I'm trying. I want to get down to some articles. That's what I'll show you. This is North Korea, as you know. It's all over the news, set to perform a nuclear test. I will say this. If North Korea carries out that nuclear test, if they do, if they carry it out, we're going to hit them. I've been saying it for a while. They've discussed, everybody's discussed it, etc. But while all this is going on, the Democrats are still mounting this Russia collusion matter. Comey is mounting his own assault against Trump. Still to this day, he should have gotten rid of him eons ago. When he first got in, he should have gotten rid of him. Hang on. And I put them on there specifically so that... Okay. This is another big story that should happen. Louis Lerner, she should be investigated from the IRS employee accused of targeting conservatives. That's a big Obama scandal that's gone by the wayside as well. GOP now wants the Department of Justice to reinvestigate that. Right on. Now, that's something Sessions can do. But as I said, you're not going to see much happen to... They're starting to call for more investigations on Susan Rice. Now, this is the story you all got to talking about on Sputnik. Coalition strikes Daesh depot with chemical weapons, okay, in Syria. This is up on Sputnik News. And let me see what you're seeing. So people have been asking about this. And this depot is what we've been saying is originally happened, that they claimed that Syria did, but using chemical shells. This is the story. It's on Sputnik. Coalition strikes Daesh depot with chemical weapons in Deir Ezzar. The jets of the so-called U.S.-led coalition launched a strike at about 1700 hours local time on Daesh warehouse where many foreign fighters were present. First, a white cloud and then a yellow one appeared at the site of the strike, which points at presence of large numbers of poisonous substances. A fire at the site continued until 2230, the Syrian army's commander statement obtained by Sputnik. This confirms that Daesh, the al-Nusra terrorists, possess chemical weapons. This proves what we've been trying to say is that the rebels, okay, have chemical weapons. This goes to the argument, and as you see here, Putin says Syrian authorities met all obligations on chemical arms destruction. It's another article here on Sputnik. Even though it's Sputnik News, it has been confirmed. And the Syrian army continues to deny possessing chemical weapons as well as dealing with Idlib. The news comes as Washington and allies are blaming the Syrian government for a suspected chemical attack. Syrian opposition claimed on April 4th forces loyal to President Bashar al-Assad had used chemical gas on people in Northwest province. Killing, and remember, the Syrian opposition groups are the ones who started this, meaning they're the ones that claimed it to the public. They're the ones had these pictures of kids start to show up. It was all through them, and this is tied to McCain, and it goes much deeper to that, and that's a special show I'm going to do. We have 3 people from the underground on this. I'm trying to get the gentleman who's been investigating this on my show. I really want to speak to him. Now, on the next day, the Russian Defense Ministry said that the airstrike near Khan Shaykhun was carried out by Syrian aircraft which struck a terrorist warehouse that stored chemical weapons slated for delivery to Iraq. That's what they were bombing. They let the U.S. know, Russia let the U.S. know that the Syrian army was going to be bombing this area in Idlib. Now, this is another one that the United States coalition launched a strike on, this particular depot, which has chemical weapons as well now. What I think this is them, I'm telling you, this is going to get to the point where it gets ugly, to where it'll look very, very bad. It's going to look very bad when this is proven that, in fact, this was not Assad. Okay? And that's what Putin told Tillerson yesterday. Trust what I tell you. He said, we didn't do this. We're not going to stick to it. We're not going to say we're sorry. Blah, blah, blah. They want us in war in Syria, everybody. They want us mainly in a war with Russia. They want Syria for pipelines. Israel wants it for land. Saudi Arabia wants it for complete control. This is all to stage against Iran. This is much part of a bigger picture and plan that started before George Bush. Okay? So that's what's happening here. I'm going to lay it all out for you. We already have some cool graphs and everything, and layouts of how this has gone down. The whole Syrian plan, the whole Middle Eastern plan having to do with Libya, Iraq, Syria, at all then against Iran. Now you have us dropping this massive bomb. It's sending a signal everywhere, which I fully agree with. It now says, hopefully, this bomb will shut up Kim. It'll shut up everybody else. And it's not going to shut up Russia. Russia wants the United States to stop saying that this chemical attack was carried out by Syria, by Assad, and them possibly, because they didn't do it. They didn't do it. I'm telling you. People go, it doesn't matter, Assad should be killed anyway. No, the principle of the matter is when you start to use, when you start to kill innocent civilians and children for a purpose to stage a false flag to drag many countries into a full-scale, basically outright, the United States into a full-scale war in Syria, and we're already there. We're backing in a proxy war with Russia. We've been backing, and Russia keeps bombing the anti-Assad forces, as does the Syrian military. We keep resupplying them. John McCain does, via Turkey and Saudi Arabia. And that's how we got the gas in from Libya after Hillary Clinton destroyed Gaddafi. Okay? And Obama was part of that. That's why Ambassador Stevens was murdered. Okay? He wasn't killed, he was murdered. Ambassador Stevens was ready to pop the cork on all this shit and let everybody know. And he got killed for it. He got killed for it. Now, back to the stuff at home that's very important. Yes. Another good story that's come out, and when this popped, I actually contacted MFA's attorneys, which I'll bring this up right now as I'm going down the wall. Facebook publishing terrorist and pedophilia content, investigation reveals they refuse to take it down. The learning of this case is huge because Facebook refuses to take down sites that are either mimicking ours, doing hateful content, etc. at all. This case, when I saw this, I contacted the lawyer, and I have 20 years of law myself. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a grand opening for us because Facebook in the United States is violating U.S. laws by keeping the content on its pages. So forget about Facebook policies, and this case sets precedent. It's huge. This case is huge for people who are having a problem on Facebook where they refuse to get rid of people's bad content, or if they're harassing people or bullying people, slandering them, hating them, for whatever it may be. You can just sue Facebook on the grounds that it's violating the law in whatever state you're in thus the United States. And that's how you get around. Even if you agree to their terms and policies, Facebook is not allowed to violate, with its policies, U.S. law. So if you live in New York and the law is you're not allowed to, for internet cyber, I'm telling you, for cyberbullying, and Facebook is leaving content up that is considered, as a matter of law in the state, cyberbullying or hate, you have them. You have them. And there's something else that's come out, well, that we've already started, having to do with this entire case with us against the haters. We're not going to keep waiting for the criminal authorities. Talk to the lawyer. We're going to smash them with a major civil lawsuit, not just by myself, but MFA and all its members in a class action suit, and ask for an injunction to enjoin them to get Facebook to remove them off and keep them off of Facebook. And this moves very fast. You don't have to go through these major procedures to do this. You just have to prove you're being harassed, who the people are doing it, and a civil judge will rule in favor of it. It's very simple. And you add Facebook on there. So we're going to ask our members at MFA, any of the all paid members that are part of MFA, or supporters that are being harassed by these haters, to join in this class action suit. I can guarantee you by Sunday, if or less, you will have the site up for it. You can sign up for it. The lawyer's going to draft up the lawsuit. This is the same thing that has been done when Donald Trump filed his immigration ban. Somebody went out and filed a case saying, it started with the 2 Iranians detained at JFK Airport. They went to the Democratic judge there. You file a civil lawsuit, and then they ask you for a TRO, which is a temporary restraining order. You get the TRO, you get them shut down. That TRO gets delivered to Facebook, and boom. That's it. It'll also be delivered directly to them, and it'll be a court order. If they violate the court order, it doesn't go civil anymore. It can get turned right into criminal action. You can ask for criminal charges to be brought right against them. And then you bypass all the BS that doesn't matter. And even though there is an investigation going on, it doesn't matter. And you can get the court to deem them as a hate group, and all of them can go along with it. So, I don't know what's bringing in here, but... So... we got Border Patrol Union President, RIPS Paul Ryan, for delaying. He rips Paul Ryan for delaying the funding on the border. Paul Ryan needs to go. Paul Ryan is horrible. Paul Ryan needs to go. Reince Priebus, they all got to go. Bannon's got to stay. But from what I'm being told, which is another update I will get with you right now, is that Bannon is, if Bannon stays, he is going to be moved to a different area in the White House. But straightforward with all you guys, the word is Bannon may not even want to stay anymore, regardless of what Trump does. After what Trump blasted him with on TV the other night in his please, I do not want any fighting on the wall, guys, okay? Please just leave these people alone. They're not worth your time. These are small-minded individuals. And at the end of the show, I will go into a couple of things of what we're going to do and what's happening. Okay? These guys, and I'm going to show you everything that they're showing you in their cluster. I'm going to show you within 15 minutes what it is, what it's about. These people are arguing, and I don't even want to go into it. I want to finish what I'm doing with the news. I'm not blaming Bannon. I'm telling you they are blaming Bannon. I'm not blaming Bannon. I think Trump should keep Bannon. He's going to lose a very big base of his if he gets rid of Bannon. And Bannon may go on to rebound, and Bannon's deadly on the internet, okay, and with news. He's deadly, okay? Serena, Trudeau is, just so you know, I have a lot of Canadian supporters. Thank you, guys. Trudeau is a Hillary Clinton, Obama, George Soros puppet president, okay? Trudeau has cut a deal to bring in 300,000 plus refugees into Canada. Trudeau is a sellout. So, I mean, I don't know what else you want me to tell you about him, but he's a sellout and he's bringing refugees in as we speak. Don't pay attention to any of these people. They want you to be upset. Don't bother with these people, please. Ignore them. You guys are better than that. It doesn't matter what they say. Like I said, when somebody flips out the way they are, having to go out and spread all this stuff, they got something to hide. And believe me, he's got something to hide. Okay? He's got something to hide, and we'll get into that in another point. And no, he's not fabricated, not anything. I've had so many people come to me since yesterday and reach out to me and say, thank you, Scott. It's about time somebody called out Jeremy. It's about time somebody called. I won't even tell you the names. I have the messages, tons of them and tons of them. Then we spoke to them, got rid of the troll ones and knew who the real ones were. And Jeremy's from Illinois, okay? And from Illinois on, I will show you what this guy is known for. I've even had females contact me at all. So this story's it's gained legs, okay? And now it's gaining wings. But I'm not going to be bothered with it right now. We have bigger and better things to do. So, actually, that's someone calling me right now. I got to tell them sorry, guys. Give me a second. Okay, let me turn that down. You guys can still hear me, right? Just tell me if you guys can still hear me. Can you guys still hear me? Yes? No? Yes, George. I broke that story. I was the first one on Twitter, and I'm not doing this to tout my own horn. It's because to prove the sources I have. I went on Twitter and said, right after the Syrian attacks, you can go to my Twitter feed, see the time, I said, new info. Just released. Bannon told Trump not to bomb Syria and that he thought it was a bad idea. It's on my Twitter. Sure enough, subsequently there too, within 24 hours, mainstream media was saying the same thing, that their sources were telling them that Bannon advised Trump not to bomb Syria, the airport, and that Bannon believed it was not a real chemical attack either. The history is there in Syria. I don't know how people can still sit there and keep going on that this is not a fabricated attack is beyond me. Oh, and it gets better. Just so you all know. Here, it gets better. And part of the story I'm going to be breaking with the rest of that, because you guys know I've been following this Syrian gas stack, and I'm not letting up. I'm not letting up, because it's a huge story at the end of the rabbit hole. And I don't want to say this, but Condoleezza Rice was at the White House just a few days before this attack went down. McCain was secretly in Syria, which was not a secret. Before that, a couple months back, right before, this happened as well. So, anyway, there's a massive story behind this, and it could have started, and we're on the worst relations we've ever been with Russia since back to the Cold War, and even worse, most people are saying. We got troops surrounding, UN troops with us basically all through Poland, all out that whole ring against Putin as well. This is all about a massive, massive thing against Russia. It's huge, and then Iran on the back burner. Syrian Republic just posted U.S. bombed Syria and many civilian casualties. Yes, the casualties they're talking about this chemical plant that I just showed you in the beginning of this. It was a weapons depot. U.S. coalition bombed it. It sent up a massive chemical cloud. Massive. That's what I was trying to tell you. When you have that stuff go viral, and it was the U.S. coalition that bombed it. Thank you, George. I appreciate that. But my point is I'm telling you my information is that Bannon's like now almost a foot and a half out the door at the same time, and it's all because of Kushner. And it's not listen, I've been hearing the stories that this was a fake news story to put out there. That Bannon, I already called that out early yesterday, that there was allegedly a fake news story put out there, in propaganda about Prince and Bannon at all to do. It's bullshit. There is a serious rift in the White House with Bannon, okay, and Priebus and Kushner. Now, I want to get into a very important part of this show, okay? So, let me get down here. Right here is Donald Trump himself undercut Bannon himself on national TV, okay? And it says in here, New York Times may be in jeopardy. Whether the Times false news or not, it doesn't matter. Now, I want to explain to everybody what's going on here. We have Manafort, we have Page, we have all this here. We got Paul Manafort coming out, we have Page coming out, and everybody's saying, and they're not looking at the big picture that I'm trying to tell them about what's going on with the Senate Investigation Committee, as I've been trying to tell everybody since Trump was elected, that they were going to use this Russian matter to impeach Donald Trump. The big story I'm going to put together, that we have put together, that I'm going to be doing, is simply this. Okay? The idea is to create such a firestorm as you see being pushed on the CNN, Clinton News Network, MSNBC, everything. There are even these nutcases are out there trying to say that Donald Trump, the right with Donald Trump did this chemical attack to take off, meaning the bombing, sending the cruise missiles into the Syrian airbase to get off the topic and to turn heads away from the Russian investigation. Please listen to what I'm telling you. They are using this. It doesn't matter if Manafort, and he became a registered agent. People on Twitter are like, well, that's no big deal. Everybody becomes a registered agent. They're going to paint the picture, and I mean to say this like super slow for some people. They want to paint the picture, and they are painting a picture that people around Donald Trump during his campaign had Russian ties. They don't matter if the Russian ties were a year before. It's all about building this case and using this in the media that everything's Russia, Russia, Russia. Page now. I'm going to tell you something. Now you have proof from yesterday that there's a FISA warrant that came out against Page. Lots of them. Whether they use Page as the excuse to get them to listen on Donald Trump at all doesn't matter. Okay? Page has come out himself and said anything that comes out, even if it's criminal, and I get, for criminal matters, it's fake. It's a setup. It's not real. Let me tell you something. When you start to say that, and I'm going to go right to my FBI sort here. I'm going to lay it out for you. They're looking to indict Page, Manafort, Flynn, all of them, and turn around and say that this was considered Russian collusion and Donald Trump was aware of this. So pay attention. I've been saying this since he was the night of election night. People are like, no, Russia will go away. They're just, they're not going to do anything with Russia. It's all been laid out, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now you have them saying And remember the report I put up from Russia? From Russia's own news sources and then Spain's own news sources, that they arrested a gentleman in Spain, a Russian hacker, computer specialist, in Spain, to extradite him back to the United States for questioning by the Department of Justice, a.k.a. Comey. They're going to say, and they're accusing this gentleman of putting in malware into our election, the voting counting software, not the voting machines in each state, but each state has to report its numbers to a main database. That's the database that they're saying that the Russians now may have hacked and or installed malware in. I can remember the days, 2 days before it hit, that I said they're going to come out next and they're going to say that Russia, you can look at my Twitter, the time and place, accurate. They were going to say that 1,000+ Russians created fake news sites to pump key battleground states with information of anti-Hillary information to swing voters in key swing states. That has now come also to fruition. They are now going after each one of these gentlemen, one at a time. Each one, boom, 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 one at a time, to build a bigger case. In other words, maybe people don't understand how it works. They want a special prosecutor. They want a special prosecutor so that they can then end up at a grand jury. So a grand jury the special prosecutor presents all this, what? Prima facie evidence. In other words, it doesn't matter if Manafort did business with somebody in Ukraine. However, it's now coming back that this is tied to he borrowed money. Right after Donald Trump fired him, he started to borrow money having to do, and banks having ties to Donald Trump developers, friends, etc. They're painting this huge map and big picture of possible alleged collusion. This is what I'm trying to tell you. They're not going to stop this. They were not going to stop it. Why? Because David Brock et al. Is being paid millions and millions of dollars to do this. The only way that this stops, the only way that Russiagate stops, is if Donald Trump does what they want him to do. Trust what I tell you. They're building all this to get Donald Trump to do something bigger. And now I bring you the the Bill Clinton scandal with Monica Lewinsky. They could have gotten Bill Clinton for anything in the White House. He screwed enough chicks in the White House and had affairs all over, all kinds of good stuff, right? They picked the Monica Lewinsky scandal. David Brock was behind setting that up. In other words, turning it into something from nothing. In other words, not that it wasn't nothing what Bill did as the president, but they took this situation and made it into a viral situation. And this is what David Brock does. Okay? You could shoot a deer in your backyard, and if he wanted to make it look like that was the most worst thing on the planet to do, that's what he gets paid to do, and he creates these massive situations. With Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, David Brock worked with the Republican side and the elite to create the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Why? Not to impeach Bill Clinton, but let the public think that Bill Clinton would be impeached and get to that point of impeachment, which he did. But they did it to get Bill Clinton to do what they wanted him to do. It's like blackmail. Do you understand? And that at that time was to get involved in what? The Yugoslavian war. I can prove what I'm saying to you. You can fact check what I'm saying to you. This is what they're doing with Russiagate. They are building this massive case against Trump that keeps getting fired into the mainstream. It doesn't matter if these guys didn't know Putin or not. They've dug into every last thing, and they're going to continue to dig. What they want to do is pressure Trump to the point where it's so bad, and they're going to start indicting a couple of these guys. They're going to start to bring it to the highest point like they did with Bill Clinton, to the point where Bill Clinton almost got fully impeached. Okay, until they get Donald Trump to do what they want him to do. That's how they control him. It's assassination by intel. And now you have add Kushner and Ivanka to this same situation. And David Brock, via the American Bridge and all of his associates, are key to this whole process. And this is who's feeding the news outlets. This is who's feeding, and the people that are working for him and the deep state, as well as Obama holdovers. They're all working with David Brock to create this Russian shitstorm with the Democrats. The Democrats have them. That's Hillary's right-hand man. That's Hillary and Bill Clinton's right-hand man. Even though David Brock originally created the situation against Bill Clinton, subsequent to that, David Brock jumped ship from the Republican side. He is key to all this. I'm going to be showing you that. I'm going to probably do that special show tomorrow night. I will show you how this is happening, all to control Donald Trump, as well as to impeach him, bottom line. But the real reality of it is they want to control him. Do what we tell you to do, or we're going to destroy your presidency, we'll destroy your family, we'll destroy everything you have. That's the big picture here. Same thing they did to Bill Clinton. And it's the same man behind the gun that's pulling the trigger that did the Monica Lewinsky scandal with Bill Clinton. David Brock et al. And then you add George Soros, who's funding them, Obama's shadow government on top of that. Hillary Clinton and Obama are the ones close with Brock. This is where it's coming from. All these firestorms. I mean, it doesn't matter. From Page to Flynn to this. And now you're saying, we monitor other networks and what they're pushing. And everything on the other networks is that already it's proof that there's proof coming out that Donald Trump colluded with the Russians, that Page may be a Russian spy, and they're going to deem him, Comey's going to deem him a Russian spy. So when all this hits, don't say, don't be like, I don't get it, because it's there. New World Order globalists are winning. That's the point. And if you haven't noticed, Donald Trump's policies are changing left and right, meaning from what he ran on. Look at even NATO, meeting with NATO. Look at what just happened. I mean, he's switching policies. China, he switched the policy on China right away. Boom. After the meeting, switched. Everything is switching on policy, with the exception of taking out ISIS. Wonderful. They're going after the wall. They want to stop the wall. Right now, they're supposed to get slated to start construction in San Diego for the wall in June. They keep saying that we don't have the money to fund this wall. You don't. All you need to do is use government and infrastructure bonds and toll the border, and you'll have a wall at no cost to the American people. Kushner is dangerous. Okay? Kushner is very dangerous, very liberal. Ivanka is very liberal. Did you hear Trump say? My daughter, the pictures come out. Part of the Syrian situation is Ivanka went to him and said, look at these poor kids. Look at this. Do this. You have right now in the White House Valerie Jarrett, good friend, now in the National Security Council, meeting, you have, and she's friends with Ivanka. Ivanka's still good friends with Chelsea Clinton, and Money Moore. And as part of this show, I'm going to show you this. It's proven ties. These are all proven ties. Trump's not going to fire Kushner. Trump's not going to get rid of Ivanka. And notice how they slowed their way in. Ivanka was only going to be, have a small place in the White House. Jared was going to be in the background. And now look where it's gotten already. We're not even in the first 100 days. Tammy, nobody's saying families shouldn't be in the White House. You're missing what I'm saying. They've been moved into higher up positions with top secret clearance in the White House. Okay? And they are very liberal. Kushner's very, very liberal. And when I show you the truth about Kushner, in a show I'm probably going to do that with the show later tonight. Go into Kushner and Ivanka. They're in like Flint. It's not about the family living at the White House. Good God. Not even close. Has nothing to do with that. It has to do with liberal thoughts and a mission. You don't have Valerie Jarrett's, which is Obama's right-hand stooge, who's also Iranian, by the way, of descent. We're looking into this first black woman on state's highest court found dead. Very strange situation here. Something's happening with this case, and we're looking into it. North Korea's nuclear test could come Saturday or sooner. Like I said, maybe after Trump dropped this, the Moab. Now that he's dropped the Moab, I think Kim will reconsider, unless he just wants to die a martyr. That we have Trump's insiders push back on talk of Bannon's demise. I think if Bannon doesn't go, as we're told, they're just going to move him to another position away from Jared, but I don't think he's going to accept it or accept it for long. This is a good story for former Hillary Clinton employees arrested on treason charges. Did you see what they get her for? And you think you can't get Hillary Clinton? She received some laptop, this kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. They got her on treason. You don't think Hillary Clinton should have gotten for treason for her email scandal, for Benghazi at all? But no, at least one employee's done. Maybe she'll sing for the feds. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The feds are dirty anyway. So what are we going to go there? Comey's fixed. Now Trump's praising ping pong as his good friend, and everything's wonderful, and he's a great man. Donald Trump, please pay attention. China is not our friend. The Chinese are not our friend. I'm looking for a key article. I may have to go over to my Twitter account. Hang on. Here we go. Police arrest previously deported illegal, charging with sexually abusing small girl at a Virginia daycare. These illegals got to go. Shut this border down. Have a nice day. Pack your shit. Done. I mean, this is what I mean. I don't know how many more stories people got to see about illegal aliens. Just that's it. And it looks like they're going to start rounding up many of them. I'm talking a lot more. Start rounding them up. This is a very good story. This is huge. Fast and Furious scandal. Most of you, if you don't know what Fast and Furious is about, with gun running with Eric Holder, Obama, Clinton, et al. The trigger man, border agents got him for the murder. Eric Holder should be sharing his jail cell for sure. Big screw up. Again, the right side in Congress didn't do anything about this Fast and Furious scandal. If you haven't all figured it out yet, the right does nothing. The right does nothing. They do nothing. Okay. I'm going to be, in my show tonight, I'm going to go over this. You have people coming on here. This could be another fake news. Don't believe everything you see. Dems will do everything to bring down Trump. If I post something on this wall, it's true news. Okay? This is the report I'm going to go over, and with my whole show with Syria, my it's fourth part of the series on a serious chemicals attack. On here, it is very clear. The White House report states that, and the report is right on here if you guys want to read it. Assessment of White House intelligence report on April 11, 2017. It goes in that they believe the sarin gas attacks happened from the ground. First, they were telling everybody they have concrete proof that it came from the air, and they showed you the air. And I tried to tell you that was fake because Russia and Syria already told the U.S. we were going there to bomb Idlib. It's a known. We're getting pictures. I'm waiting for the team to bring them to me to show you this region. Because the region, it doesn't even have kids around there. I'm trying to find, I want to know what's Wall Street. There's a Wall Street Journal article. It's huge. And if people would read instead of looking at, and here's the problem, they go right off a headline and go, oh, here, key title to this. After campaign exit, Manafort borrowed from businesses with Trump ties. Okay. All they have to prove, hang on, let me get rid of the screen. All they have to prove with all these stupid little things, and it doesn't matter if Manafort did nothing, okay? They're going to use all these little pieces to put together, but Comey's got bombshells coming. Comey's got bombshells coming, I'm telling you now. And they're huge, okay? After campaign exit, Manafort borrowed from businesses with Trump ties. You had yet picked Carter Page the day before. Point is, and Carter Page is being accused of some serious shit, even straight out being called a Russian spy, as is Flynn being called a spy for Turkey, and then invertedly for, for Russia. People look at headlines, and this is where fake news comes in. If you see a headline, okay, and I'm going to go over with the same kind of articles that these people are sharing about me, old ass BS stuff, and they're like, look, simple minds, simple minds. They can't fathom the bigger picture here, okay, because they're not interested in the bigger picture. They don't care about America. They're out there trying to get whatever that they can and get attention and do all these wonderful things. The seriousness of this, and as I've stated, since Donald Trump got elected that night on the video, that they were going to come and they were going to continue and they were going to use Russia to either force him to resign or impeach him. And thus what that means is they're going to do what they did to Bill Clinton. They're going to use Donald Trump to carry out something bigger that they want him to do. And maybe it is war with Russia. Maybe it is war with Syria. Maybe there's so many things on the table. Maybe it's war with North Korea and just to down to China. But that's not what's happening in that picture over there at the moment. So, this is August 19th, was an eventful day for Paul Manafort. That morning he stepped down from guiding. That's the day he stepped down, August 19th. And when you put all these things in a timeline like they have, it all points to every person that Donald Trump had on his team, some ties to Russia. Some ties, not every person, like Kellyanne Conway or whatever, but I mean, some major players, a majority of them, with ties to Russia. And this is what they want the world to believe, that there was some great big scandal and that Putin knew. But there is a huge story that we're working on, and part of it has been generated from the Wall Street Journal, a big article having to do with properties that Kushner bought and Ivanka bought with Trump, having tied to a Jewish, and I'm going to tell you something straight out. The gentlemen that they're talking about are Jewish mafia, and they are serious people, and it's a whole big thing, and they are tied to Putin. When you put all this stuff together, and if they bring this guy back that they are bringing back to testify that, or question him, and he comes and he wants to sell out a deal, that in fact he did, or they're going to make up a story, maybe CIA, maybe whoever it may be. Pay him to make up a story to do whatever, that he hacked the U.S. elections. We have big problems, and it's not far-reaching. It's not conspiracy, because it's all happening. So right here in this story, that morning he stepped down from guiding Donald Trump's president campaign after brief tenure, during which Trump won the Republican nomination. Democrats' emails were hacked, and the campaign's contacts with Russians came under scrutiny. We know that Russia did not hack shit. Dogged by revelations about past financial dealings in Ukraine, Mr. Manafort retreated from public view, if you all remember that. However, behind the scenes, he was busy with other matters. Papers were recorded the same day that Paul Manafort leaves the Trump campaign. He created a shell company. And if you guys know, I deal with offshore corporations. A shell company is, it's a fake company it's not a fake company. It's a real company, but it's shelled underneath the main corporation to a separate corporation. And most of the time it's used for tax shelters and or to avoid taxes and or using it to funnel money through it. And then he received $13 million in loans from two businesses with ties to Trump. So Manafort steps down. He creates a shell company, which doesn't look good right away to the IRS or the government. Creates a shell company and then received $13 million in loans from two businesses with ties to Donald Trump, including one that partners with, guess what, Ukraine-born billionaire and another led by Trump economic advisor. They were among $20 million in loans secured by properties belonging to Manafort and his wife. The purpose of the loans is unstated in public records, although at least some of them appear to be part of an effort by Manafort to stave off personal financial crisis stemming from failed investments with his son-in-law. The transactions rise out of a number of questions, including whether Mr. Manafort's decision to turn to Trump-connected lenders was related to his role in the campaign, where he had agreed to serve for free. This also shines light, just so you all know how I even know about this, and you can confirm this. Okay, Paul Manafort has an $11 million home in the Hamptons. I was a builder in the Hamptons for almost 20 some odd years, as I've shown other shows, magazines, everything. Manafort and this crew, as I tried to say, we used to run with these people and hang out, parties, do these things in the Hamptons, etc. Manafort even then was being called dirty with his ties to Ukraine. Okay? There's serious shit going on here. And people go, well, that's got nothing to do with Trump. Maybe Donald Trump didn't know. Donald Trump had to have known, and I'm a Trump I support Donald Trump. I love it. This doesn't make it a crime, though. Okay? This is my point. Manafort may have committed a crime doing whatever he wanted to do to avoid IRS, whatever the hell he was doing. That's meaningless. My point to you is that they're creating a shitstorm. Just like they did with Monica. I'm using that as an example because that's the same man behind it, David Brock. They're creating, with Obama et al. And Hillary Clinton. And Soros. They are creating a shitstorm having to do with Russia. And anybody that has ties to Russia, they dug so deep, it doesn't matter. Here. This is how they came up with this major scandal. It's to the point where Obama even kicked out, as we all know, all the Russian diplomats, and he put even more sanctions on Russia. Let me give you a heads up here. What if it comes out that Obama spied with Rice at all, which it should, okay? Not that they're going to do anything to Rice, but point being, if it comes out and it's true, and you get the right investigation and it proves that Obama was spying on Trump, Trump team et al. And Donald Trump illegally for political gains, to use it against him, and they unmasked Flynn, okay, to do the same thing to get Flynn out of the way. If that comes out, then it's going to come out as it's slowly already started to come out, like through CrowdStrike, as we covered that story about CrowdStrike, is the third party company that the FBI used to prove or try to prove that the Russians hacked the DNC emails and the Podesta emails. CrowdStrike has since come back and said a whole different tune. I covered that show. So let's say it all comes out that this was all bullshit, and that Obama even went to the lengths, as we all believe, well, maybe not all, but I believe, even kicked, when they lied so big, they even kicked the Russian diplomats to the curb. They could put sanctions on Russia. You're talking about massive treason here. You're talking about the worst scandal in the history of the United States, how bad this could be. That's how much is tied to all this. This is why they want it, and they keep doing it, and they keep pushing the Russian narrative. They keep pushing it, keep pushing it. So, people have got to realize that what they're building here is a prima facie case to get a special prosecutor, and I will guarantee you, and what I'm being told from the Fed, that they are going to charge Carter Page, most likely Manafort, most likely Flynn, et al., with crimes having to do with Russia and possible collusion. This is their end game. And they want something from Trump. And I'll guarantee you they're going to do something. He's already, listen, I'm an avid supporter of Trump. I'm glad they dropped the Moab bomb here in Afghanistan on a whole clustered area of ragheads, terrorists. Pack your shit. Have a nice day. Wonderful. Goodbye. It shows pure strength, shows serious balls, and it puts the United States in a playing position. Always negotiate from strength. Even Ronald Reagan did that. Suzette, they can't let go of it and they want to make the story true. The problem is, part of the story is very true. That's my point. And I'm going to lay this out in simple, and it's not going to be like a show like this. It's going to be, I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how these people, and I'm going to say it again. Manafort did do what they're saying here. This is not a lie. Manafort did this. Carter Page did what he did as well. Okay? Flynn did what he did as well. He was working for Turkey. Okay? He did receive money from Turkey. You have the ex-CIA head, James Woolsey, who headed Clinton's CIA, say that he walked into a room and heard Michael Flynn discussing and they asked to smuggle basically Black Op out of this country, Fatah Gulen, to Turkey without going through U.S. Extradition proceedings. This is huge fucking criminal conduct. They're tying all this together. This is the big picture that's going on here. And Charles, trust me, Trump knows this stuff. Okay? He cannot not know this stuff. He knows this stuff. They cut Manafort for a reason. They cut Page for a reason. Doesn't mean that he colluded with Russia, is my whole point. But to the world and to the United States and to Senate Investigation Committee et al., they want to make it believe, and as you hear every day, just turn on CNN, I hate to push them, CNN, CNBC, ABC, CBS, all these liberal outlets, Rachel Maddow, all these stupid shows, all these nutcases out there. That's all they push is Russia, Donald Trump, to the point where they think that he bombed Syria and created the gas attack there. They're even starting to say now that maybe Trump's CIA with McCain created this situation in Syria so that this could take and deflect from the Russian matter. I'm telling you, you can fact check me. Matthias, I hope I pronounced your name that way. I don't know how to pronounce. I'm going to say something to you. This Manafort story, maybe I should continue to read for you because it is an accurate story. It's not fake news. Manafort was told to step down. He steps down, he creates a shell company, and then he gets $13 million in loan, and then he goes back. Here's his name. Here's his proof that he was in Ukraine. Okay? He comes back and borrows more money, and they're tied to Donald Trump's associates and banks tied to Russia. Manafort originally claimed that this ledger was fake. Now he claims the ledger is true. Manafort has always denied that he ever received any cash payments for his work and has consistently maintained that he received all of his payments for services rendered through wire transfers and conducted through international banking system, the statement said. If you go through the whole article, that comes out, and when you fact check this, it's correct that he did know. And scandal, just so you know, and this is why I try to tell everybody, Manafort's been dirty for a long time. All the way back to when he was a lobbyist and a consultant in 1980, when he testified before Congress about influence peddling to win federal housing contract and was linked to $10 million in cash that a confidant of the Philippine director, Ferdinand Marcos, claimed was delivered to Manafort in a suitcase. In the 1990s, Manafort's worked for clients such as the Angolan rebel leader Jonas Savimbi. Jeez, what a name that is. Savimbi was cited in the Human Rights Watchdog report, The Tortures Lobby, which examined Washington consultants who catered to brutal regimes. Mr. Manafort went to work for Yanukovych and his Russian-backed party in regions in the mid-2000s. I mean, you can't just hide. Trump vetted people on his campaign. You can't just bring these people on and didn't know they had ties to Russia. This is part of this whole big story that we're on, that the transaction with Mr. Deripaska, a billionaire industrialist close to President Vladimir Putin of Russia, involved the attempted purchase of a Ukrainian cable telecommunications business using $18.9 million that Deripaska invested in Cayman Islands partnership with Mr. Manafort. And I'm going to tell you what, I've banked in the Cayman Islands. I've done it for clients. I was down there and I stayed in the Caymans for a very long time. I'm going to tell you something. This information, this kind of stuff that is coming to you, Manafort is dirty. Been dirty for a long time. I know, and everybody wants to keep going. Oh, God. Guys, please, let me put it to you a different way. Hillary Clinton, people keep going, well, that doesn't mean anything. Hillary Clinton did this, or Obama did this, Obama did that. Everybody keeps comparing what they're trying to do to Trump to Hillary Clinton and this and that. I'm going to tell you something. Obama's going to walk free. Hillary's going to walk free. Susan Rice will walk free unless people do something about it. And that's my point. Nobody does anything in America to stop it. But everybody wants to claim it, but then you say, well, they can't do that to Trump. What about Hillary? What about Hillary? What about Hillary? You just saw Hillary got off. Comey got her off. So the same person that got Hillary Clinton off, same people that got Hillary Clinton off, with the exception of the head of the Department of Justice. Okay, she's no longer there. But are the same people in the FBI going after Trump and these people. So why do you expect a different story? This is my whole point to you. People are expecting some type of different outcome with James Comey and his second in command, who is seriously under investigation for ties and possible collusion with the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation, McCabe. But why are you expecting something different if except the opposite? As I'm trying to tell you, they're building an arsenal against Donald Trump. Massive arsenal. It's the shadow government. I call it the shadow swamp. And I just don't know how people don't believe it. They'll come on there and go, no, that's not true. Trump didn't know about Manafort. Trump didn't know about this. I'm going to tell you what. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out, and they had to go through some type of vetting process to go in there. You have to remember, Donald Trump did not think he was going to win. Do I think Donald Trump colluded with Putin? No. To win the election? No. Do I think the United States lied about it to create a very big false situation? A big fabricated hoax that the Russians interfere with our election? Sure, the Russians have tried to influence elections around the world. So have we. We influence more elections probably than Russia ever did. So, it sounds like a bunch of kids, but when you take all this information that so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that, and you put it on and you lay it all out, and I did it in one of my shows about a week ago, there's a diagram, and it shows Trump is the head, and they show all of his people, and then the ties go down here. It'll go to the Russian ambassador here, it'll go to Putin here, it'll go here, 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 and we show all these ties. I'm not saying Trump knew about it. What I'm trying to tell you is he had to have known something here, because this is, and then now they have this article is accurate when it comes into who's involved with loaning the money to Manafort. Why would he just go to Trump banks or banks that Trump is affiliated with? Why would he just do this? Why would he do it? Does what evidence is on here right now, on just in this article alone, is enough to get them to get a criminal investigation and indictment against Paul Manafort. Just telling you. You only need X amount of evidence, circumstantial evidence, before a grand jury. You're not there to prove your case. You're just there to prove that there possibly could be and that a crime has been committed. Always follow the money. Americans don't do anything. Nobody does anything. And they keep talking about, why isn't Hillary Clinton being convicted? Why isn't Obama being convicted? Why isn't Susan Rice doing anything? Because no one in this country stands up to do anything about it. While the left keeps building and building and building. Everything's anti-Trump, anti-Trump, anti-Trump. We're waiting for her to die. That's great. Well, Obama's walking away with basic outright murder. Even for Benghazi, that was a massive cover-up. Same thing. James Comey needs to go. His second in command, McCabe, needs to go. The FBI needs to be purged of Obama supporters, diehards, and we need to fix this. Just so you know, they have a new FBI TV commercial out. And on the commercial, they're trying to make the FBI look like these great people before they... I'm telling you, it's just started. It's all over the place. Tamara, I don't know how they can be delusional. It's amazing. And when you lay it all out, it's the same information at once. And this is what a lawyer's job is, or a prosecutor's job. They take the information and they lay it all out. And it doesn't mean it's correct, but I'm just telling you, that's what they do. Sue, I don't think they're going to go as far as they want. I'm telling you, they want Trump to do something. I'm telling you, they want war with Russia or an all-out war with... They want Assad gone, and they're using this pressure of Russia against Donald Trump. I'm telling you. And this is where it's going. And the threat thereof of it. So as long as they keep that going, they're controlling Trump. And I don't know what, I don't know what it's going to take. People go, well, when that happens, we'll do something. They're building a huge case. And I'm going to lay it out for you in simple terms as I'm trying to show you here. One tie leads to the next tie, to the next tie, to the next tie. But this huge story has to do with a Jewish, major Jewish, they're Jewish centers, and they're tied across all the United States, all over the world, and directly to Putin himself, okay? And Donald Trump on our end. So the ties are there, and that's the story that's huge. It's huge. No, I can't listen to lies from media either. So, we have, on the end of the day today, we're on the verge. We just dropped the largest, Moab, the largest non-nuclear device that we own on Afghanistan. Bravo to that. I fully believe they deserved it. Huge show of force. And it shows that, Trump's not Obama and that he's going to, go after ISIS and everything. However, they're going to say now the Dems are going to go nutty on this one, I think. I think the Dems are going to go a little nutty on this one. But we'll see. They come out and say that it doesn't matter. They're maddening. They're like haters. They're maddening. Patty, we have to go, and we're wrapping up. We have this march in 9 days, but we are wrapping up what we call nation building, and it is the MFA Nation. Members can go in there, and they'll be able to cut letters right to. It's on a boilerplate. It's great. They're professional letters to congressmen, senators. If you want to create petitions going around, you guys as members can create whatever you guys want. We're opening up more chapters of MFA to get to. People have got to get to a network of, number one, true news. It has to be true news. Fake news goes everywhere. And this is what just so you know, and I'm going to end this with this because I want to do a show later tonight. And if I don't, because I have other things to do. Today in the store, you'll be seeing the updates for our patches, stickers, membership kits for MFA Regular will be out in the mail on Sunday night for Monday. So those will all be done. Red, white, and blue clothing is all inside of there for our march. We need the help to raise money. So what we have going on now, as I pointed out from this clown Jeremy, okay? He's out there putting pictures together and saying, you got people coming on his feed, you don't have a company because you have an Arizona address on your company. Why do you have an Arizona address? Why do I have 7 companies in Pennsylvania with an address there? Why do I have a corporation in California have an address there? Why? Because certain corporations should be in certain states. So you have acting agents in those states. Okay? Acting agents, you have to have an address there. That's why you do it. It's not to hide anything. It's not to do anything. And Arizona happens to have some very good corporate laws. That's why some companies you open in Delaware. Most of the biggest companies in the United States, even Fortune 500s, blue chip stock matters, are in Delaware because it's a safe corporation. Same thing with Nevada. Everybody does the filings depending upon what kind of company is in certain states for that. So for all the rejects out there that don't understand corporate law, they're like, you're a fraud because you have a mailing address for Arizona, but your offices, you're in New Jersey. Since when do corporations have to stay in the exact same state that they're in? Many corporations, and I have several, that are registered in other states, doing business in other states, yet they're registered in a different state. Many corporations around the country, millions of them actually. But see, they're too small-minded to understand business, so you're going to get a quick business lesson. So that's the facts behind that. Now we have Jeremy out there slandering my name for whatever reason he has to with his bullshit videos and the like. I can assure you, I'll look you straight in the face. We're going to be exposing Jeremy. Pandora's box is open. Pandora's box is open about this clown. And he's from the state of Illinois. Okay? Currently lives in New Hampshire. Many people reached out to me after I went live and said, thank you, Scott, for doing that. I've been trying. This guy's a piece of shit. Da, 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 da. Many. Not just one, not just two. I've had many females reach out to me about Jeremy. That he has come after them. He's assaulted them. He's whatever. And they are verifiable sourced people. So, I will be exposing all that. He can do whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. His little friends and his crazy sister can come on here and do whatever they want to do. There's a lot that happened in the state of Illinois with Jeremy. And he's not just moved from there. He's moved around a lot. Okay? This man is not who he says he is. Me, let him put together the stupid newspaper article, the Washington hit piece from when we had the march against Trump and I. It's all the same information, just repeated in the same different things. There's nothing there. And they go, okay, I'm not defending it anymore. Okay? That's it. That's it. But we are doing this as we speak, dealing with people in Illinois, and many have come forward. And as I said, we will be breaking that as well. Let him do what he wants. Let him go on his little thing. The reason why he's panicking so much and sending pictures and memes all around about me and trying to point to that MFA is a scam. And now people are actually, once again, believing this title of a headline. It says, from prison to post, thinking that I was arrested or convicted of something in Shamokin, Pennsylvania that I went to jail for. That's not the case. If you read this article from 2012 from a ragtag small paper that's fake news, you'll see I was not arrested or convicted of anything from that matter. It's actually on video that we did a series out of there called Something Smoking in Shamokin. It's on YouTube. You can watch the series of it. We proved open corruption. The police chief is no longer. The feds came in with the EPA and that for environmental protection stuff we got them in for. It's all on film. So once again, people read a headline and then they go, just like that, and they'll come on and say, oh, you owe the IRS X amount of taxes. Really? Okay, think again. It's not worth dealing with. But people actually feed into this stuff. Okay, when they should really be feeding into the truth of what's going on, happening to do with this country, and you want to help. Not out there. That's why I can't be bothered with this. It's childish stuff. I'm not going to lower myself to the level of clowns. And that's that. Hi, Mindy. How are you? Yes, tomorrow you'll be receiving messages from people. There's hate groups. There's people, this guy named Brian will tell you we defraud anybody. I did a show. There is a video on YouTube. Go to Scott Binsack. Just Google Scott Binsack YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel. You'll see it. It says I exposed them. We don't need money. I don't need money here. The guy's doing this deliberately, and as a post, it says, wait, I'm going to bring you up that post. Let me bring you up a post quickly from someone that knows Jeremy. And I'm not going off. I'm just giving this as one example. Let me find it. Okay. This post right here. Let me make sure you see that. Give me a sec. Okay. This post right here. It's by Simon Cook. Simon Cook posted this under my video that I showed yesterday about Jeremy. He came on and said, this piece of shit's name is Jeremy, and he pretended his house was robbed at Christmas time so that he could scam all of his live viewers into buying him free shit. Jeremy spins the story and tells something totally else. Actually, it's a true story. Lowest of lows, he says. Don't believe this con artist and don't give this asshole any money. He's a pathetic pretender, big mouth born loser trying to get famous by stealing other people's work and ideas. In my case, he has jumped on board. He's jumped on board with my haters to try to make a name for himself and to try to be something he's really not. When I expose what he's done in Chicago, Illinois, all the way to lines up to why he's in New Hampshire, and more people are coming forward, so I'm going to say something. If you know Jeremy, and if you had a problem with him, even if you're female, whatever, it's confidential information, please contact me here on MFA's page, or you can contact me directly at scott@mfaofficial.com. Please do not contact me and put fake reports, because we send the information and authorities will know right away. They'll check it out. End of story. If you know the man, you've had a problem with him, you let me know. His sister's just as bad. Okay? So, the sister popped up on my wall trying to say, and I already knew, she's like, you know he's posting this on your wall? And I'm like, and then another one of his followers, did you know that? She went right back on the wall. We was watching the whole wall. These people are simple-minded and done. It's bullshit. All right? It's like, please do not bother with these people. If you get sent anything, please send it to me. Just send it to me. Report these people and block these people. All right? I mean, it's done. We found the legal loophole to get the haters shut down very fast now. But I have a march in 9 days. I don't want to bother. It's not some idle threat. I told the lawyer, he goes, Scott, that's a fabulous idea. And a new case from Facebook lets us do it. And it's presiding. And it will work in the United States as well. Because Facebook has to follow the guidelines and the law of whatever state the person is living in, and or federal law in the United States. So if someone's harassing you, saying your name, slandering, defaming you, you just sue them, and we're going to do a class action from all members. MFA, Inc. et al. Scott Binsack, everybody that's on there. And it was, the idea came to me from a follower, from a member, and it's a great idea. And my bells started going off, and then I'm like, I can use TRO power, which is temporary restraining order power in a civil court, and use that and stop this in its tracks. All of this stuff in its tracks. And if they don't follow the civil order from the court, that's when the judge will just immediately lock them up. You don't have to go to do any complaints. You don't have to do anything. It's the best way to do this while the rest of this is going on. It's just the easiest way to do it. Alexander, printing out Everbright tickets. Yes, you should bring your ticket if you signed up. It's for head count purposes. I'm going to be doing an update to the March. You're going to start seeing now every day March updates from. We're using it. It'll be done in the fun and on our MFA TV live stream broadcast event that's already been set up, and anybody who signed on had to have an email, etc. I want to make something else clear quickly. So I'll be doing updates on the March The store is being updated and being shared today that everybody's asked me for. They want patches, things like that. PayPal will be connected in there. We've been working on the store, so we pulled it off. I'm connecting it back in. Second thing, Red, White, and Blue Revolutionary March is in D.C. and other places. Go to redwhitebluerev.com. That site has to be updated with some Washington information because it's part of our permit. It has to be in there, new mission statement, etc. You guys still there? Dawn?